The school year is going to look a lot different next fall in Eldon. The Cardinal School District in Southeast Iowa has approved the switch to 4-day weeks. The district hopes the change will keep teachers from moving on to larger districts. The change is an example of what many employers are doing to attract workers. They're getting creative.
There's a leader here in the Metro who tells us a lot of workers are pushing back against coming back to work because of what they heard at the start of the pandemic.
We had so many employers or the government or the world telling people they weren't essential, so we sent them home, and now we're here we are in such a shortage, and
everybody's essential.
And everybody's essential. Yeah, they were essential back then too, but the messaging wasn't that great.
Employers are raising pay. You've probably seen signs like this, but it's still not enough. Tonight, our Dave Price goes in depth about what other incentives employers are now trying.
No strained muscles, sick days, or hangovers. Not with these yellow fellows.
We're an integration company.
At this integration company, those yellow robots belong to RMH Systems in Waukee. If you need a bunch of boxes put together and packed, or pallets moved that are heavy, really heavy.
These guys don't get a sore back.
Correct.
They can lift quite a bit, right?
Correct. For reference, the robots behind us at any given moment are, when they pick up a full load, could be lifting 500 to 800 pounds.
Ryan Pleek's robots can do it. Other companies outsource their work to RMH's warehouse. Rather than finding their own humans to do this back-breaking work that fewer people seem to want to do, the robots handle it. And unlike those other places, at RMH, there is no workforce shortage. Although it's not because of the robots. They actually do have people working alongside the robots.
Well, how long have you been with the company?
I've been with RMH for a little over 20 years.
20 years?
Yep.
There's no shortage because the staff stays.
I have a lot of HR counterparts and they're all screaming for employees. I have 20 plus open positions and then they're like, hey, how's it going over there?
The answer, it's going much differently than these places. RMH is almost always fully staffed.
I've tried to kind of ask myself why, what makes us different?
Their difference is not the norm right now.
It's been a very wild couple of years.
David Leto and the Palmer Group work to match company openings with qualified workers, and that work is becoming more demanding. The firm's clients have had 2 to 2.5 times as many jobs to try to fill.
Employers are going to have to do what they have to do to keep staff and then retain, get that talent in.
The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the way so many workers view their careers. Some may need to work at home or want to work at home if they want to work at all. And if they want to work, they want to get paid. Now, historically, inflation goes up about 2% a year. So that means from your boss, you want to get at least a 3% raise every year to try to stay ahead. But over the past year, because of everything we've been through, you can expect to receive a 5% increase if you stayed at your current job. However, if you left and found a new job, you expected to make 8% more. Now, some companies realize that money's not going to be enough here to get workers, so they're coming up with even more. One company in Iowa came up with a list: unlimited PTO, flexible work hours, and paid parental leave, both for mom and dad. But there's one more thing. How about a mental health hour? 1 hour off every week to do whatever you need to do.
Each of our team members once a week gets to pick 1 hour during their work week that they get to do whatever they need. Take a nap, go to the post office, do your laundry, I don't care. Just do what you need to do to free up some of that mental space to make you hopefully better when you are engaged with our team.
Other companies' teams will also enjoy some new rewards. Bunomatic in Creston will pay employees tuition to go to Southwest Community College. Generation Next Iowa cut childcare costs for employees who send their own kids there, and they also started a 401k retirement plan. Waukee Schools will now pay teachers $30 when they have to fill in for another class if there's no sub available. Others are adding a personal touch. Green and Wood Media Services sent a staffer who was a huge Atlanta Braves baseball fan to the World Series. And there's more. The Ames Chamber of Commerce said other companies have added meals, gym memberships, and clothing allowances. And then there's this. Holmes Murphy employees got a handwritten note from the chairman and CEO. It was a way to make sure they were doing okay. Plus, they get paid time off to volunteer for a cause that's important to them. It is all about appreciation, which brings us back to RMH Systems and Chris McGuire's question that really wasn't a question.
What makes us different?
She didn't really need to think about it, and she knows it's not because of the robots. Although perhaps they too like the company's golf outings, holiday parties, and promote from within mentality. Instead, she knows that the real difference is this.
I think more than salary, more than benefits, people just want to feel like they are engaged and empowered and able to add some value to the company.
And they want to feel like their company values them at least as much as their backs value that lift they get from the yellow fellows here. In Waukee, Dave Price, WHO 13 News.
Dave tells us if there's one big theme here, it's flexibility. That's what employees want, and that's been magnified during the COVID-19 health crisis.